Welcome back to Tyler's Retro Reviews with your host, Tyler Hodder, with Slamboree 1999. Before I get to it, the last review for May, and we're moving on to June. And you better click that notification bell and subscribe to this channel right away, by the way. Because you're going to see not only next week's review, I'm not going to mention it yet, but the other two will be Great American Bash 2004 and Bad Blood 2004. But the other, you know what the one I'm going to do next week, by the way. But we'll get to that. Because I'm teasing you guys about that. So, last 1999 review I did this year was Super Brawl 9. It broke the views thing. I kind of knew it was not going to because... But... Still, the most viewed video on this channel is that Raw and Nitro from July 6, 98. But regardless, this period is basically the start of WCW's downfall. Not in a good way. That's not a good thing to hear, though, but regardless, let's get on to this pay-per-view. May 9th at the TWA Dome in St. Louis, Missouri. This event is 25 years now, because I did the Slamboree 98 review on that anniversary, but here I am doing it now, a few weeks after that. You just can't schedule yourself for that, but regardless. I mean, you look at the build-up to this, and I didn't watch any Nitros and Thunder leading up to this, but all I gotta say is Sting won the WCW Championship from Diamond Dallas Page, and then lost it back to DP from that exact same night. It was also going to have Goldberg versus Sting for the world title, but that did not happen. Kevin Nash is unfortunately the number one contender going into this pay-per-view. And also Ric Flair was in a fucking insane asylum going into this pay-per-view. I mean, Wrestling Bios did all that. So, yeah. Because Ric Flair is fucking insane at this point. But let's get on to this pay-per-view. First match is for the WCW World Tag Team Championships in a triple threat match also. Raven and Perry Saturn defeats Rey Mysterio and Billy Kidman. Still, Rey Mysterio without his fucking mask. If you saw my Super Bowl 9 review back in February, you know how much I fucking hated it. And Chris Benoit and Dean Malenko to win the WCW World Tag Team Championships in a pretty damn good triple threat tag team match. Now, if you saw my Spring Stampede 99 review, Raven and Saturn are back together because Kanyon was off shooting the Jesse Ventura movie. Watch Brian Say's review of that crap, because that also has Goldberg wrestling in the 70s, and Raven did a Montreal Screwjob in the movie. Like, watch that, okay? Watch Brian Say's review on that back in 2015, because it's a funny rant video on that. Regardless, this was basically the end of the Four Horsemen also after this pay-per-view, because the end of the match, it was Kanyon disguised, wolf, a DP shirt, an NWO hat, and a Sting mask. And that led to Raven and Sarah win the tag team titles. I'm not gonna lie, this is the best match on the show. An 8 out of 10. Unfortunately, this will be Raven's. I think this is Raven's last WCW match. Because I think because he didn't wrestle in much in WCW after this. And we all know what happened on August 23rd. I will mention that August 23rd, Raw and Nitro on the one day before that. Because that's the same day that Triple H won his first WWE Championship. But regardless. And then you get Conan defeating Stevie Ray. This was still... Stevie Ray was still part of the fucking NWO. The NWB team it is. Yeah, the less I said about this, the better. 1. This was also the start, the teases of the Filthy Animals, by the way. But yeah. And then we get a hardcore match. Before this, DP went up to Bam Bam Bigelow. This was Tease of the Jersey Triad. Which was one of the better things about WCW around this time period, by the way. That's not saying a lot because this time period was hard to watch. Regardless. Bam Bam Bigelow defeats Brian Knobbs. This was still during the whole storyline of who's the king of hardcore. I mean, you guys like Bigelow, Brian Knobbs, the Sandman. I am not referring to him as Hack, okay? That name is fucking stupid. I'm still referring to him as, even if he's in WCW, I'm still going to refer to him as the Sandman, okay? Raven for a short bit. You know what would have been better? Have an actual hardcore championship. I know Mayhem in November that happened, but you should have a hardcore championship around this time. That didn't happen. This was not the best hardcore match I ever seen, okay? 4 out of 10, I'll give it. Bam Bam Bigelow wins. And that's all I have to say about it. Really. Anyways, then we get the next matches for the WCW World Television Championship. Rick Steiner defeats Booker T to win the Television Championship. Booker T won the TV Championship at the Uncensored pay-per-view. I will mention that a little sometime later. I don't know where. But honestly, this whole thing was all about Stevie Ray because Stevie Ray is helping Booker T around a much. You know what would have been better? Have Stevie Ray leave the NWO and reform Harlem Heat. I know that didn't happen like 2 months later, but we didn't get an appearance from Stevie Ray. Instead, we get an appearance from Scott Steiner. And this is what would expect the U.S. title match, by the way. Regardless, I don't know. Booker T had way better chemistry with Scott than with Rick. I'm sorry. This was not Booker T's best match. A 5 out of 10. Anyways, then we get this match. There's a stipulation in this match where we'll get to that. They didn't mention it here, but we get Gorgeous George defeating Charles Robinson. Yes, the referee. And this was his... And 25 years later, he's still referred to as Little Nash, by the way. I mean, it was a smoke and mirrors, it was. And yeah, it was funny seeing Charles Robinson dressed up like Ric Flair, by the way. But the stipulation is if Gorgeous George beats Charles Robinson, Randy Savage is reinstated. because Randy Savage was gone after Great American or sometime after Great American Bash 98. Spoiler, I'll mention Great American Bash 98 on the 4th of July, okay? Because that's going to be the next review in July, that is. And then after that show, it'll be SummerSlam reviews. Because, yeah, you know why I'm not doing Vengeance 2004 on the anniversary of it. SummerSlam's coming up. Well, not yet, that is. I didn't give it to Charles Robinson. To be my favorite referee in wrestling ever, by the way. But yeah, I give it this. I give it a. I mean, it was not that much of a great match, though, because it's a 3 out of 10, though, but yeah. Then we get for the WCW United States Championship. Scott Steiner defeats Buff Bagwell by submission to retain the WCW United States Championship. It was a fine match, but it could have been better. And this let the Rick Steiner turning heel and rejoin Rick Steiner and reform the Steiner brothers. And this reunion did not last, because Scott Steiner went down with injury because of it. 6 out of 10, I'll give it. And then we get, no, this is for the WCW presidency, and I mentioned it already. Roddy Piper committed Ric Flair to an insane asylum, and what did Ric Flair do in that asylum? He made it to a party. Jesus Christ, no wonder why WCW went downhill around this time period. And this match, Roddy Piper and Ric Flair. Before this, Ric Flair fired the sanction referee for this match. His name was Johnny Boone. Yeah, weird name. And put in Charles Robinson in his place. And Piper thought he won the match. No, Ric Flair thought he won the match, but then out comes Eric Bischoff. By the way, he was not under control storyline-wise. Just award Roddy Piper to win by disqualification. What the hell is going on here? If you're wondering, is this just a shoot reason? But how does Bischoff still get away with power even though he was not in control anymore? Ric Flair is still in control. This whole thing was so fucking confusing, literally. I might do a dumpster fires on this sometime later. And this match was just not great. 4 out of 10. Yeah, Roddy Piper he was still the commissioner around this time. A lot of people say they ripped this off when Vince Russo came around. No. They were doing the commissionership around 97, 98. So, you guys are wrong about that. Honestly, this is one of the most disappointing matches I was excited for again. But then when I saw it at the end, I was like, oh, I forgot how dumb the finish was. Sting and Goldberg, you were expecting this to be great. And it was great. You know, and this, again, Sting won the WCW title before this, and then lost it back to Diamond Dallas Page that same Nitro, like a week before this. And then they had to do Who's the Franchise of WCW. I swear to fucking God, that whole thing with Sting, you know, Who's the Franchise of WCW? Sting and insert name a wrestler. And the match was great. These two have really great chemistry together, but then Bret Hart came out. And We don't know what's going to happen in December. He whacked Goldberg with a chair, and technically Goldberg won by disqualification. I don't care. The bell rung. Goldberg technically won by DQ. It was not a no contest, and then the Steiners came out after that, and they beat up Goldberg and Sting. This was the way to write Goldberg off of TV to film the, what the fuck was that? The Universal Soldier movie? I never seen those movies. I'm sorry, but yeah, a disappointing finish. 6 out of 10. I mean, and yeah, technically Goldberg won by disqualification because he got hit first by Bret Hart. And speaking of disappointing miss, the main event for the WCW World Heavyweight Championship, Kevin Nash defeats Dalles Page to win the WCW World Heavyweight Championship. Why? Because Kevin Nash is a fucking booker. That's why. Again, fine match, but I hated the result of it. And this was DP when he was a heel, which DP did not work as a heel. I'm sorry. He was way better as a babyface. Nash was going to win, and then Randy Savage came out and caused a disqualification. And then out comes Eric Bischoff again. He told Nick Patrick to restart the match. And if anyone's going to say that, they'll see it by Monday. Again, how the fuck does Eric Bischoff still have power in WCW when he doesn't have any? Nash won the WCW title. This led to Kevin Nash and Randy Savage by the falling right after this pay-per-view. Oh, God. I give it a 6.5 out of 10. It could have been a lot better. It's Kevin Nash and Dalles Page. It wasn't great. And it's a fucking shame for that, because overall Slamboree 1999 wasn't that great of a show. I give it a 5.8 out of 10. I forgot what I gave it originally. I don't care. It's a remastered. I'm going into this with a different light. And there you go. So next week, I mentioned this. ECW One Night Stand in 2005. Yes, I will mention 2006 later this year. The 2006 one, that is. But we're going to do this one next week. SmackDown review will be tomorrow on my main channel. And the Anarchy Asylum War Games match after that. The match which is Team AJ Styles of AJ Styles, Superman, The Undertaker, Robin, Mr. Money in the Bank, and Mr. Krabs, yes, against the bloodline of The Rock, The Usos, Umaga, and Rikishi. So, and then the next Saturday will be the Hardcore Warfare. But that's after that, so yeah. Like this video, comment below, subscribe to this channel right here, and click my notification bell so you'll see not only ECW One Night Stand 2005 next week, you will also see Bad Blood 2004, and after the next one we're going to do, I won't tell you what the next one will be. It's something with Money in the Bank, okay? And then after that, Great American Bash 2004, because actually the Money in the Bank I'm going to talk about is 2014. I'm not looking forward to that one, because it's debuted around 2014, 10 years ago, but whatever. I'll see you for One Night Stand 2005, and also subscribe to my main channel also, and click the notification bell on that one also. Goodbye.